Green blessings. This is Susun Weed and Monica Jean, the voice of the wise woman tradition. We're going to make some comfrey oil today. It's a beautiful, beautiful day. The comfrey is just heading into bloom. This is not Symphytum officinalis. This is Symphytum uplandica, which is the common garden comfrey. You will see many, many bees coming to these flowers when they open, but the flowers never set seeds because it is a hybridized plant. Henry Doubleday hybridized comfrey, and many of the hybrids of comfrey have this fanning out of the leaf that extends down the stalk. That and the purple flowers distinguish it from officinalis, where the leaf just comes right to the stalk without these little fleshy bits, and where the flowers are yellow. There are some considerations about using Symphytum officinalis, and that's why I always use the safe Symphytum uplandica garden comfrey with the purple flowers. Monica Jean, let's make some comfrey oil. Comfrey oil is really wonderful for strengthening the skin and healing any kind of boo-boos that we might get. We fall down and go bang, then comfrey oil can help us to feel better. Let's see, we have to take the lid off the jar, don't we? Okay. And then we're going to put the comfrey in the jar. Do you want to help me do that? Okay, let's get the comfrey in the jar. Yes. And we harvested the comfrey when it has the flowering stalk, because these pieces of the flowering stalk are loaded with allantoin, which is the primary healer of the skin. So we're using that stalk, and we wait until the comfrey has that stalk and the leaves and the flowers here in our preparation. I don't like to make tinctures of comfrey because the problem with comfrey has to do with an alkaloid, and alkaloids are very well extracted into alcohol. So by restricting my use of comfrey to oil-based preparations as well as water-based preparations, then we avoid that problematic alkaloid. Let's get a little more of this stalk in our jar. I find that one of the most difficult things for people starting out making their herbal preparations is they're never quite sure exactly how much of the plant to put in their jar when they're making an oil or a vinegar or a tincture. And the easy way to determine if you have enough plant material in your jar is that the jar should be full enough to make a bed for a fairy. That's right, Monica Jean. So we want to have a little give. I could really smash this down in the jar more, but I don't want to do that. And we do want our jar to be pretty full right up to the top. So let's put a little more here in our jar. Now that looks good to me. We've got a nice pack in there. Let's leave the knife here, Monica Jean. Now let's take our oil. We can use any good quality oil. I prefer olive oil because it is absorbed into the skin so easily. And we're going to pour olive oil right over our comfrey stalk, leaf, and flowers. And we're going to let that bubble down into the comfrey. When we make a vinegar or a tincture, the vinegar or the vodka goes down very easily into our plant material. When we make an oil, we usually have to give it just a little bit of help, as you saw there with the knife, so that the oil really gets down in among all of the plant material. It's also very important to be sure that the plant material that you're using is very dry. Not dried, but dry. In other words, it hasn't rained here in about 48 hours. Comfrey especially, it's important to make sure there hasn't been any rain. That's right, Monica Jean. Let's put a little more oil, and then we'll put the lid on. We want to be certain that all of our plant material is well covered with the oil. That's right, and then we'll put our lid on, and we're going to let that sit for 3 to 4 weeks. And that comfrey oil will then be ready for any boo-boos. I got a boo-boo this morning, right there. We could put some comfrey oil on a bruise. That would help heal that bruise. If I twisted my ankle, the comfrey oil would help heal that sprain. I've even had someone tell me that she uses it when she has a headache. She rubs it on her temples and she finds that it relieves her headache. This is Susun Weed and Monica Jean wishing you green blessings and lots of comfrey.